Okay, yeah, so there's no real good way to begin this video because I'm pretty sure that many people have talked about this completely abhorrent situation that happened between Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony, where Carmelo Anthony decided to do some pussy shit and stabbed him in the chest over a verbal altercation, all because of the fact that, according to the witness testimony that I've read from the police document, like, he put his hand on it. Like, some said that he put his hand on him, some said that he shoved him, but, like, either way, like, this was, like, just, like, some teenage fight, or at least that's what it was going to be, if it wasn't for the fact that Carmelo Anthony is a quivering pussy, who is now being propagated by the left as this innocent victim who was just a matter of happenstance that he wound up needing to commit self-defense against an unarmed person using a concealed weapon, which, by the way, in Texas is a felony to go onto school grounds with a concealed weapon. So, he went with his backpack, and after the fight, or the verbal part of the argument initially was dying down, Carmelo Anthony wound up grabbing his bag, where he had a knife in it, and was like, "Touch me, see what finds out." Of course, we all know this part. And the part that seems to be getting the internet confused is the part where he pulled out a knife. I'm keeping the guard on this one just because of the fact that I don't want for any potential reason for this video to be demonetized, but he took a knife that he had concealed in a bag, waited for him to touch him, and then, like, as soon as that happened, he pulled the knife out and lunged it straight into his heart. Now then, the thing that's got people confused, because this was a track meet, they're like, oh, it was a cleat sharpener. Okay, let's say it was a cleat sharpener. A completely fictitious tool that does not exist, given that cleats, like, they screw on and off. So, let's say that somehow he had a magic backpack that was able to just manifest things that do not exist. He still took it out and stabbed a kid in the heart, a 17-year-old. And I've seen so much misinformation. Some people are just like, oh, he called him the N-word. Witnesses said that he didn't. Oh, it was self-defense because there was two people and he felt threatened. Two people, yes. Austin and his twin were there, but, like, at the same time, both of them were unarmed, and this situation was just entirely due to the fact that this guy could not fight, and now he's very likely to go to jail. I mean, the knife was found on the scene with his fingerprints and the victim's blood. He ran away, threw the knife into the bleachers, which, by the way, is an attempt to conceal evidence, or, like, dispose of evidence. So yeah, he did this in front of a bunch of people, like, ran away like the quivering pussy he is, threw it, and then, like, when he got caught by the police, he said, yeah, it was me, I did it, and now he's doing everything in his power to try to claim self-defense, which Texas has some of the, like, most just, you could get away with murder type self-defense laws. I'm pretty sure that if somebody were to, let's say, try to steal, I don't know, my, like, D&D dice tower thing that I got here. Let's say somebody tried stealing that. If I were in Texas, I could probably say self-defense if, like, I'm walk outside with a fucking shotgun and blast a hole in the back of the guy because he's running away with my shit. It's just like, oh man, that guy, he's got, like, he's stealing my shit, self-defense. Like, that fucking scene from Mob Psycho 100 where, like, I think the guy's name is Reagan or something like that. I don't know. It's been years since I watched Mob Psycho. where like he punches a guy and it's just like, yeah, he yells self-defense just so that he can say that he did, like, in situations where he's unsure of whether it's self-defense or not. But even then, that was a punch. This is straight up just a murder. Now then, it's pretty much established just from the crime that he's, like, he's fucked. Like, yes, Black Lives Matter paid him hundreds of thousands of dollars, which his parents used to buy a house and a new car instead of using it for lawyer fees. But to get him out on bail, which, you know, I don't think he should have been put on bail. I think he should still be inside of a prison. So I don't think that the judges should have taken him off because, like, it's like, oh, he's got no criminal record. He's admitted to first-degree murder at the crime scene, and even if he didn't go to, like, juvie or anything like that, there was an instance where he was on suspension from his school for previously smuggling a knife into it, and it'll take me hours probably to find the actual clip, and if I do, like, I'll put it in here, like, about here, where essentially a girl who went to his school is like, yeah, it's so surprising, yeah, no, I only knew him because he fought a lot. Like, yeah, he had a previous instance where he was suspended from school for assaulting another student, but it was handled in the school instead of the courtroom, which helped into leading him getting his bail, which, you know, shit move. Like, all these blatantly, like, I hate to call it as it is, but these people in Black Lives Matter, all they see is brown kid in jail, and these black supremacists are idolizing him because of the fact that he murdered a white boy. That's all that it really is. Now then, here is what makes him extra fucked. So, what these people didn't realize they did is that they painted an even bigger target on his back than he already had. Firstly, he's all over the news because of the fact that he committed this horrible crime, which was entirely motivated because he went to the wrong tent, which there is a clip where they're just his legal defense team and they're like trying to blame the teachers because of the fact that it rained at this event he wasn't supposed to be to. That's why they're responsible for him stabbing a kid, which if somehow the judge decides that that is some sort of legal precedent, then any school shooter in the future will be able to get away with it because the teachers should have been able to prevent it because it's the teachers' jobs to know when somebody's concealing a deadly weapon and planning to use it upon another student or individual that's just there. Could be a faculty member that they intend to use it on. No, it's all the teachers' faults that this human tragedy happened. But yeah, firstly, I already explained like why he was on some pussy shit. He stabbed a kid after a verbal altercation, attempted to dispose of the evidence, ran away, and he has a target painted on his back for when he does go into prison because of the fact that, like, he's got hundreds of thousands of dollars that were sent to him, and that's all the inmates are going to see. He's going to go in there day one after getting, hopefully, a life sentence without the potential for future bail or, like, anything like that. But they're going to see him, know that he's on some cowardly shit. And they're specifically going to, like, I don't know if it's going, like, who exactly it's going to be or for what gangs. Like, I believe that in Texas, like, they have their own branch of the Aryan Brotherhood that is a far worse branch of it, or, like, their own denomination of it. But I'm not sure it's going to be one of them or somebody inside of another gang. Heck, maybe the gang that he was pretending to be a part of in this picture. Well, this picture I'll put right here, where he was flashing a gang sign for a gang he wasn't a member of. So, it might be one of those people handling it. It might be his, well, like, the Aryans, but they're essentially going to be coming after him for his money. Like, listen, if you want protection, you're going to have to give me, like, I don't know, 10,000, 30,000, or like, they're basically going to try to milk as much money out of him as possible from all of this money that was sent to him from donations from all of these black supremacists that like the fact that he murdered a kid. And then to continue what he did, like, in addition, like, I believe the guy was like his lawyer or like his defense attorney. Bit of a speech error there. But there was a video of him being guided away from like the press and all that. Like, we don't want photos, we don't want this, we don't want that. And he literally grabbed his hand and was like pulling him away. Now then, I don't know a lot about this guy. There are people that are more educated on this subject than me. But apparently the dude has like a massive rap sheet. So it's like, okay then, so this kid got a bunch of money, was being dragged around his hand like he was a child on national television. The guy representing him is allegedly a career criminal. I, again, don't know much about him. That's just what I've heard, and that's hearsay. I haven't done my own research on that individual, but I did see the footage of him being walked around like a kid going to school, which he really should have been. In fact, he should have been at school. Like, he was prohibited from going to that track meet because he was suspended from the track team. And that's another thing, like, so he was at a place he wasn't supposed to be, like all this other shit. Like, it just keeps on compiling the evidence to show that, yes, he is fucked. This is, like, premeditated. Like, you don't go to a place you're not supposed to be, go into an area searching for a fight, and then, like, brandish a concealed weapon and use it at the slightest, like, provocation. So, yeah, pretty much just, in short, he showed that he's soft as baby shit. He's done so much stuff, like, it is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever read about, and anyone with any sort of common sense would be able to conclude, like, yes, this guy deserves to go to prison. And because of people that looked at him and was just like, oh, he has enough melanin to be a member of my community, I'm going to send him thousands of my hard-earned dollars so that white supremacists or other black people in prison will beat the shit out of him for years, trying to milk him for every penny that you paid him. Like, guy's shown that he's soft as baby shit, and shoot, his prison pocket as soon as he gets 18 is going to be so wide it could smuggle about 20 Trinidad terrorists from fucking Guatemala or some shit. But, that's just my thoughts. Like, he is blatantly fucked as soon as he goes to prison, and I believe that's where he's going to go. And I believe that Black Lives Matter, the people that wound up giving him all that money, the moment he's sentenced to prison, a bunch of people in Black Lives Matter who don't even live inside of the area, these career protesters, are going to basically do the same thing that happened when Michael Brown, who I believe in 2015 or 16, I remember this because I was in high school, and like the autopsy report basically showed that he tried taking a gun away from a cop, and because he wound up dying, and like, you don't get blast residue on your palm unless your hand is on the gun, and you don't get like a graze wound on your palm unless your hand is on the gun. But this was very clearly somebody who was doing some abhorrent shit, and he wound up dying because of it. and they wound up burning the city to the ground and did millions in damages. And I imagine that these career protesters in Black Lives Matter, as soon as they hear the guilty verdict, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to burn that shit to the ground, claiming racism, saying, like, oh, it's all the white man's fault. Oh, yes, it's the white man's fault that this 17-year-old murderer isn't able to just walk the streets. He's not able to be out there potentially harming more innocent people. But, yeah, those are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Peace.